You love to do things in front of a camera. Yes, you do. I asked Justin out first. He was not available to date at the time because he had a boyfriend. So I waited that out, and when he was finally single, I asked him out again.
Swooped in.
Yeah.
He made me laugh a lot. Still does on occasion.
It's the same jokes.
It's the same jokes he's been telling me since 2012, so I'm ready for some upgrades.
Justin and I have been married now 11 years, and there's something really nice about being that couple now that people look up to, that have been together for a long time and have a great relationship. We have a lot of friends who are just new in their relationships or new in their marriages, and I like that we can be a couple that they look up to.
When we first started dating, I was the one that was like, I want to get married and have kids. And I think that was something that Jesse had never really considered. That's the sort of decade between us of like, he just didn't know that to be a reality for queer people. And for me, it was not acceptable for it to not be a reality. We just basically had this conversation and he was like, oh, I guess that would be amazing if we could get married and have a family. We have 2 boys who are very rowdy.
It's like chaos, but it's like fun chaos. It's controlled chaos in a way. We're making the breakfast, and now we have chickens, so Beckett knows we need to like bring out scraps to feed the chickens, and we have to visit the toilet, all of us. It's very important that everyone visits the toilet. Get the shoes on, pack the lunches. You know, it's a lot of moving pieces. It's nice because it also feels like everyone's kind of understands their roles and they fall into place, and Beckett knows he has like 6 things he needs to accomplish before leaving the house, and Sully's just sort of observing from the high chair right now. When I was a kid growing up, I didn't have places to look in entertainment that were aspirational of a family that I could become one day. For me specifically, just being a part of a television series where a gay couple was front and center, figuring out the ins and outs of being a parent, just like everyone does, was really important for me. The receipts show that it was highly impactful. I mean, I have kids who still come up to me saying, like, that show helped me come out of the closet. Modern Family was a cultural touchstone for hot button topics like marriage equality. And so I see firsthand how storytelling, specifically in the LGBTQ space, is so needed and so necessary so that people can look to these stories as aspirational and hopeful. We're producing things together now, and if you laid out all the things that we're interested in right now, so many of them, like 90% of them, are based in the LGBTQ community and in telling those stories. Sometimes when I feel like, you know, we're trying to tell these queer stories, like, oh, we already have that show, and that show already exists. Like, no, there should be many of those shows, because there's so many different facets to that community. One show should not feel like it has the responsibility of carrying the entire community, which is something I did sometimes at times feel like that people were, you know, thinking, okay, Mitch and Cam don't really represent me. I was like, well, we shouldn't represent everyone. Good Lord, that's why there's so much space for so many other stories to be told.
I was working on Prop 8 and Jesse was working on Modern Family, and they were at parallel periods. Jesse always thought of me as the activist. I had to work to convince Jesse that he was too an activist, and maybe not in the same way that I am. I'm more able to like march in the streets, so to speak. And on Modern, it was a form of activism. We were all working towards marriage at the same time, and it was moving the needle in substantial ways. And so we started our foundation. It was called Tie the Knot at the time. And it was before marriage, and it was a collection of bow ties, and all the proceeds went to marriage. And it was very tongue-in-cheek, and Jesse was wearing bow ties all the time, and it just was perfect. There was so much synergy. And it just became this thing that was overwhelmingly successful, and we're so proud of. We raised over $1 million. And so then we rebranded to Pronoun when marriage was legalized. We're still raising funds, but writing money towards queer activism across the board.
Family is a word that we all understand, and so we all know what that means. We all know what marriage means. It's a universal term, and it's something that everyone should have access to. Everyone should be saying that I have a family. Everyone should be allowed to say I am married if that's what they would like to be. There's no asterisks there. It is what it is. And so family equality for me means family for all of us. It's the same definition for all of us. And families look different, but at the core of what a family is, it's all the same. The nucleus of a family is always the same, and it's born from love, good relationships, and I'm proud to be a part of the institution of marriage and family.
I would like to say that I also make Jesse laugh, though I'm usually not trying to make him laugh, right?
That's
that would
true.
be true.